Okay, we've got Saykoya up against Mastro, and sorry for that, the UI there bugged for a second. This is winners round of 8, and this is probably one of the most hype sets, I think, of the tournament. Not just this round, and yeah, both of them are feeling pretty confident. They're going to go to Heartless, and we're going to see how this plays out. Sedge versus Zawan, very classic matchup. Sedge going to favor the ultra late game, Mastro playing the, I guess you would want to say like a kind of mid-game commander, more about just like getting that tier 1 or even tier 2 groove out. Both are completely viable. And can do like a lot of punishment onto Sedge, like of course like vines don't build groove, which is very punishing to Sedge as well. Yeah, he's gonna try and go for that kind of earlier win. Whereas, yeah, Sedge really just wants to make the game as long as possible. And, you know, this is a matchup we might see again in like grand finals. Like honestly, these were two of the favorites coming into this tournament. Saykoya, the current world champion. Mastro came third at the last Groove of War event, but has been a pretty beastly player when it comes to, you know, ranked and playing a bunch of other modes as well. He has definitely been grinding the game significantly. And yeah, I mean, we're seeing a little bit divergence here. Very aggressive commander positioning out of Mastro, going for that center route. I imagine this is something he has practiced extensively. Like going for like, I guess you could say like the more traditional line. Although, that said, typically we've seen a lot of commanders go deep in the corner, and Saykoya is definitely not doing that. So we're going to see, you know, how is this going to play out? Because, yeah, I guess like they're both favoring keeping their commanders out of the corner. And no hideout capture yet or anything. Ooh, Sedge moving forward a bit aggressively. I like that. He wants to be active. 67%. Oh, wow. This is actually looking really good as far as groove charge goes. And there's a lot of capturing and a lot of early like kind of skirmishes on this map. So that is something Sedge is really going to benefit from. Like any kind of like early building of groove. 69%. Nice. The core looking pretty good. Zawan's still not on tier 1 yet, actually. So, it's like Saykoya really doing a good job here. Gonna build a lot of groove and actually positioning very well into this corner. You can see that aggressive knight position because he's Sedge. Continuing to be active, knocking down these villages. Oh, that's so much groove. Hideout gets captured as well, just like a little bit more. Even gonna knock down this village. With the Harpy backup, there's no anti-air nearby whatsoever. That mage is at least one turn out, possibly even two. We see Harpy up on this side here. Yeah, both of them just going for this Harpy play. And ooh, yeah, there's the capture on that village. It could, I think, be contested by one of those swords. And is Mastro going to pop tier 1? No, they are going to save it for the moment. Oh yeah, Saykoya is just going to continue to be really smart. Heals up this sword. Something you need to be very aware of and careful with. And ooh, Harpy moving into position to punish the knight. And that is absolutely a trade you want to go for. Like losing a Harpy to kill your opponent's knight when like a lot of this map is going to focus around capturing these corner villages, which are very awkward to deal with otherwise. It's going to be very, very important. So here we see Sedge already with tier 1 has actually got more groove than Zawan. That is very scary. I'm actually very much surprised by that. Ooh, I think this knight can actually go down. Oh. Oh no. I think that knight and mage just die. I think you can actually just go for that. And even if you don't kill the mage, there's at least an option to injure it badly. Oh, but Saykoya's gonna back up. Okay, respecting their opponent. I guess they just don't need to necessarily win the fight in that corner. So they can just say, I'm just gonna, you know what, walk back a bit and we'll deal with that later. I don't want to overextend. Sword goes down, village is gonna get recaptured. And ooh, nice little pickup of a sword kill there. That's kind of risky, but are we gonna see Groove? No, we're gonna see a very close to tier 2 Zawan. And this is looking really close so far. Very back and forth on economy, like they're pretty much dead even. Both getting the early golem out now. Pretty early. Kind of mid-game golem. I want to chat saying the knight wouldn't die as it was on flagstone. I guess that could be the case. I mean, in theory you could hit it with your knight and the harpy and then hit the mage with the sword, but maybe not the best play. Okay. Zawan going to be very aggressive move forward. Is this a bit too over aggressive? It's going to be a little bit of chip damage. And he is next to road, so no suicides, but this is still a scary position to be in. Alright, finds a free hit on the knight. Ooh. That is not good. You do not want to let your knights take any kind of damage. They are far too important to let free hits get impact or be impacted on them. And okay, this is actually a pretty comfortable position for Saykoya. It's not really ideal that their opponent has close to tier 2 and that they have taken a little bit more of the map, but also not the end of the world. Sedge just needs a little bit more time, a little bit more groove. But, you know, Saykoya has the right tools, already got the archer out, already got a golem out. Mastro doing a really good play here though. Really doing well in this later game, but free village, we take those. Golem gonna kind of walk up. Ooh, archer gonna poke away at Zawan. And that is definitely not there for a kill, but been working. Oh, interesting. Harpy just going to say, screw it, I'm just gonna die. Interesting play. We'll see how that pans out. And Sedge is just being extremely cautious. Does not want to die to any kind of tier 2 Zawan shenanigans. Yeah, he's got the 200%. He could go in. There's a lot of juicy targets here, actually. Like, vines could do a lot of damage. Like, one vine here hits 3 units. Pretty good value, but Mastro gonna hold groove for now. And yeah, Saykoya on the back foot is not building groove as well. That being said, Saykoya feeling a little bit more bold, can move forwards a bit. He's got some heavy units in front. Yeah, just gonna back up a little bit now. Well, moving forwards with his main army, backs up on the lower side. And what can Mastro do against this? There's a rifle out. And Mastro only just capturing the hideout, so we're gonna see maybe something. Oh, but we are gonna see wild growth. Tier 2 comes out, does a lot of damage, kills one sword. Traps the harpy actually. This flagstone is gonna be extremely annoying. And Mastro perchance going to push onto the barracks. I mean, 21 minutes left on the clock though. Timer is gonna start coming into play now. He has to think of some way to kind of end this game. Yeah, Balloon going back for some reinforcements. And yeah, Mastro now needs to start playing really, really quick. While also making sure that Sedge doesn't build that remaining 50% groove. Mastro essentially needs to put himself into a winning position. And he's not quite there yet. Like, he's doing well. Got a really good econ lead right now. Not like the end of the world, but it's still like looking really solid. He just needs to make sure that Saykoya doesn't just like tier 2 Sedge groove the whole army. Okay, which is just gonna walk back. Oh, you know, free hit on the swords. We take those. Builds a little bit of groove. And anything at this point. Ooh, he gets an extra 1% from the sword hitting there. Might have been better off just using a knight even just to get the kill. We're gonna see if that 1% actually makes a difference. 157. Mastro just needs to do as much as they can. Ooh, nice little hex. Goes for a little bit of chip damage. Ooh, gets another kill as well. Ooh, these counter hits I actually think are going to add up a little bit though. If you're a Mastro, I really don't know if you want to just be giving out tiny little chips of groove, but I mean he also needs to play for a win, so he needs to do some damage. And he's only got 14 minutes left of the clock. Oh, he spent so much time on this turn. Saykoya, 30 minutes left on the clock. He's doing really well on time. Oh, he gets a hit on the dragon. Oh no, that's rough. Witch Hex gonna come in, do a bit of chip damage. Are we gonna see this golem go down? We are. Falls to Sedge. Sedge standing on a very dangerous tile though. There are like some unit suicides nearby. We're gonna see if that matters. There's a knight crit on Sedge as well. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about this. And there's a witch. Is there lethal here? If there is, Mastro's probably going to spend a bit of time calculating it. Thought about it for a little bit, I think. And then decided against it. He's just going to play it more safe. Goes for some chip damage. Gonna kind of needle his way through. Get rid of this army. Okay, and then... Is this the turn? Is this the lethal turn? I feel like you would want to have hit with the harpy... Or with the witch even, but... Doesn't go for it. Does a little bit of damage. Actually, there's quite a lot of damage on the golem. Mastro, I think he's just very content to just like, I'm gonna keep
Nature's cry.
Playing forwards. I'm gonna put up some more vines. I'm gonna try and set up some kind of lethal or just some kind of push on the stronghold. But I also think Sedge can get grooved this turn if he plays it right. I think there's like enough counter kill here to make it happen. And then yeah, as soon as he gets tier 2, all of a sudden this looks like a very different game. Yeah, just every single hit, yeah, that's going to be tier 2 any moment now. 2 more hits on actual units, obviously that doesn't count. Alright, Big Hex comes in. Resistic Rush, he's just going to use a tier 1. Yeah, makes sense. And ooh, big hit, and there we go. Tier 2 time. And now he can start chewing through anything that's remotely low health. And also move back to safety. Yeah, that's so big. And yeah, he's just going to be very content to just keep walking back. He even puts the balloon further back for safety too. Okay, and Mastro, I mean, he's not got a huge amount of time left on the clock, but... I mean, he could maybe do it. But it's going to be rough, and I think he needed something to punish this barracks. And he just didn't quite have it in time. And he's building a rifle. He's got 6.5 minutes left on the clock. I think this is actually just going to become a timeout situation. And I think Saykoya, even though he's behind in like, you know, economy, and I think army size wise, he's probably like a little bit behind too. I think he can just go to town now. He's got a lot more options because like all this time on the clock. And he can do things like this. He can just go, I'm gonna kill one unit. And like you're just gonna have to respect the fact that everything I do has 35% extra damage attached to it. And oh, 36! Oh, that's so close. But you know, he's got Witch Hex, so he can kind of just he makes a mistake and he kind of miscalc. He can just be like, okay, I'm gonna fix that. And yeah, Golem's just gonna walk in, do a big hit. And yeah, any kind of, all these vines just gonna get slowly picked up as well. And Mastro just doesn't have what it takes to break this yet. I think maybe he could have like a really good turn here. But yeah, he's playing for like a long game. He needed to play those earlier turns out quicker. I don't quite know exactly when the clock drops on time. But it did happen at one point. I think there might have been a lethal on Sedge at one point too. And he maybe missed it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And oh, this is actually a really nice turn. Lots of pressure on the stronghold as well as a result of this turn. Just gonna straight up hit Sedge. I mean, I would have maybe just gone for the Golem. But maybe there's a chance of like big counterattack damage happening if he goes for that, so decides against it, just wants to punish Sedge, just hit him really hard. A lot of this army is really far forward though. I do not know how I feel about this. But he has to go for it. He's got 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, he's just not even going to move those units to the south. And this grind state is where Sedge wants to be. Because like he can just chew through so much of this army. And oh, even like the little optimizations like using that spear to hit that sword and like bringing another spear up. That was some excellent play, really smart. Even gonna maneuver Sedge into position to allow for another sword crit follow-up. Oh, just goes for the archer instead. We'll see if this actually makes a big difference though. Oh, another really good combo, rifle plus swords. And I think Saykoya can actually just chew through this army. Oh, it even kills the not the harpy, the witch, sorry. Just excellent trade after excellent trade here, and he's got so much more time on the clock as well. Oh, big sword crit. Oh, it's the perfect percentage, and he can follow up and get the mage in the back too. Oh, it even sets up for another sword crit. I think, oh, he's gonna play it safe. He's gonna... Oh, he probably should have killed this sword first, sword crit, and then killed even more stuff, but decides against it, just going to play it very safe. And yeah, those knights are gone. The threat on the stronghold is almost over. There are golems though, and you know, rifle goes down. I think we're going to see the archer go down too. Oh, the knight taking damage. Oh, that's rough, but just has like so much golem and so much health, and I think he can just keep powering. Another groove coming up soon. Witch goes down. And Mastro, he's so close. He's got like 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And he can just keep pushing forwards and forwards. And he's gonna have a tier 2 groove relatively soon. And Saykoya just running out of stuff to fight with. That said, does Zawan just fall here? He's open on two sides. There is a Sedge groove follow-up. Golem plus Spear Crit plus Sedge? Is that actually going to work? Oh, he's going to Sadistic Rush first? Oh, that's so key. Removes just a little bit of the defense for the Golem hit first. And I think the Spear Crit will actually kill. Oh, that's so rare that you get to see this play, but it works so well in this situation. And for anybody watching, typically you will almost always finish with Sedge Groove, right? Because it does the flat percentage damage and it allows you to reset when it kills. And you lose all of your groove if Sedge doesn't get a kill with his groove. All the groove charge goes away. there are very specific circumstances where you want to lower your opponent's defense first before attacking with units. And we see that here. We see Sedge spending the groove, does the 35% damage flat. And it really mattered so much because that extra little bit of planes defense, you know, obviously it's going to be like 10% defense. That goes down to like 6.5% defense. And that single little bit of defense drop, like from those first two hits, allows the spear to come in, get the crit, and win the game, essentially. Like, that is really cool. You don't get to see that very often. And it's such like a cool use of Sedge Groove. And they both played so well. Mastro obviously had like a big lead for a lot of that game. Played a really nice aggressive game, but just ran out of time. I think there was a lethal at one point as well. I'm reading from people that like there was a lethal that people spotted, but Mastro didn't go for it because he was low on time. Or just under timer pressure, and yeah, it's rough. I think he just needed to not move his commander that far forward. He almost had another tier 2 groove. He could have played it a little bit safer. But it's so hard to judge these things. And yeah, but that was a really good game one. And Mastro absolutely could have taken it. But just fell victim to the clock. And the clock is the weakness of Mastro. If you're talking about like his biggest vice, I think like timer is the main one, and he's worked so hard on being better under timer pressure. If this was Mastro a year ago, he would have timed out way quicker. He would have made a lot more mistakes trying to play fast as well. So we've definitely seen a lot of improvement from him there. But Saykoya is so solid and fast, like very consistently able to play fast. And sure, he wasn't playing quite as well as Mastro there. Obviously, playing Sedge is like a rough matchup into Zawan. At least in the mid game. So he was falling behind there, but he was playing faster. He was knowing where his strength was, which was in the end game, and he was able to just wait for a lethal and then come in. And he was doing a pretty good job grinding it out, but I think Mastro just had a little bit too much economy. You can just overwhelm Sedge tier 2, even though Sedge tier 2 is a really, really strong groove. So that was an excellent game one. I had such a good time watching that. We're going to go into game 2.